They are determined, focused, and committed like true past champions, eager to capture the ultimate prize that eluded them in 1994. Last week, the Dallas Cowboys fought off an enormous challenge from Minnesota, only to survive in overtime. For Dallas, it will be an enduring journey in an attempt to relive memories of their glorious past. In Arizona, Buddy Ryan has made promises yet to be delivered. Veteran leader Dave Craig has not reached expectations. An always stingy defense has been vulnerable, with injuries proving costly. But with a healthy Garrison Hearst, the Cardinals hope to make some noise in Texas today. Texas Stadium sold out, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, as the Arizona Cardinals come to town. The Cowboys heavy favorites. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden. You know, when Buddy Ryan came to the Arizona Cardinals, he promised a lot of things that haven't seemed to materialize. What do you think, in your opinion, went wrong with Buddy's philosophy?
Well, I don't think he had enough players early, and then I think he went to change them, and he started with one group last year, and he's starting with a totally new group this year, and he doesn't seem to have as much confidence this year. You know, over the years, Buddy's had success against the Dallas Cowboys because his head coaching record is 8-4, but I don't think he feels as good about it, and he knows that he has problems here, because what he likes to do is take someone or something away and then gang up on the other thing. Now, ideally, he would like to take Emmitt Smith out of the game. He would like to gang up on the run, stop Emmitt Smith, and then be able to blitz, go after Troy Aikman, shut out Michael Irvin. But the Cowboys are too smart for that. I mean, they aren't going to play into that. I think on first down, you're going to see some passing. I think Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, is smart enough that he's not going to play into Buddy's hands. In other words, if he's supposed to pass, he may run. If he's supposed to run, he may throw the ball.
John, this is our first look at the Dallas Cowboys, Fox's first look. They seem, after losing the championship game last year to San Francisco and losing in the regular season to the 49ers, they seem to have come back this year rededicated. How have they accomplished that, or have they?
I think they have. I mean, you know, we got that feeling when we saw them in preseason and in training camp. This just looks like a different group of guys. I think last year they were, you know, they had the new coach thing. They had the thing that they were the defending champions. Everyone was going after them. Every game was a championship game. And I think that they, you know, it kind of took it for granted that, you know, we've been there the last couple of years. We're going to be here every year. And then that 49er game, that championship game against the 49ers, that took a lot out of them. Then I think they really did rededicate themselves. I mean, you look at Troy Aikman. He lost weight. He looks like a different guy. Emmitt Smith, every time he runs the ball, he looks like he's the most determined guy that I've ever seen. I mean, he looks like he's trying to run through and around everything. And Michael Irvin's working harder than he's ever worked. He's in great shape. Charles Haley is probably right now the best defensive lineman in football. And this is a team on a mission.
And the question certainly remains, are the Cowboys faced by the Cardinals today, are they better than the 49ers, or are the 49ers better? Time will tell. The Cardinals and the Cowboys from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Greg Davis will kick off as the Cowboys won the toss. Davis is number 5 back deep for the Cowboys. Kevin Williams, number 85, and Clayton Holmes. Brock Marion, I beg your pardon, 31 back with him. Davis, no touchback, so we might see and should see a return as you'll look. In the afternoon sun of Texas, you can see what that big, enormous hole in the roof does to the light and the lighting situation here on the field. Davis, Kevin Williams at the 2. Cardinals down, swarming. Special teams nail him at about the 15. Simon Shanks made the tackle. Let's have a look at the Dallas offense, led by the quarterback Troy Aikman. As John Madden mentioned, much lighter this year than in previous years. In front of him, the biggest, they're not lighter, the biggest offensive line, I think, in pro football. Tuanay, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Ron Stone starting in place of Eric Williams today at right tackle. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnson, the 2 backs. Kevin Williams, Michael Irvin, and Jay Novacek, the fine tight end. He's lined up left. Irvin in motion. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith on first down. Got a couple to the left. And the Arizona defense missing two of its key players, Eric Swan and Eric Hill. It'll be Simmons, Wilson, Bankston, and Chad Brown up front. Irving, Garth Jacks, the middle linebacker, and Seth Joyner. Patrick Hunter, Brent Alexander, Lynch, and Williams in the secondary. 2nd and 7. Emmitt Smith got 3 yards on his first carry. Cowboys at about their own 18. Opening moments. Novacek on the move. Aikman. Smith, nothing doing. Garth Jacks wrapped him up.
Well, that's Buddy Ryan's idea, is that you take away the run. You know, if you can take away the run, and I don't know that you can ever do that against the Dallas Cowboys and Emmitt Smith, but if you can take away the run, then you can get him in these situations, these 3rd and long. Then you can make your substitutions. You can get your nickel defense in there, get your pass rushers in there, mix up your blitzes, and just make the team one-dimensional.
And that one dimension would figure to be pass right here. 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. That'll be Corey Fleming, the other one. Aikman. Kevin Williams, enough for a first. Out of bounds at about the 26.
That's one of the things the Cowboys were talking about, is going to Kevin Williams more. In 3 games, he's only caught 2 passes. And they know that everyone's thinking about Michael Irvin. You see that they kind of start on a double of Michael Irvin, and they let Kevin Williams come underneath and get that first down.
Cowboys get a little breathing room. The line of scrimmage, their own 27. Opening moments at Texas Stadium. 1st and 10.
This is what the Cardinals are worrying about. They say that if they can stop their first drive, they'll be in pretty good shape. The Cowboys always scoring that first drive.
Aikman on first down to throw it. Good throw. Michael Irvin stays on his feet, gets into Cardinal territory to their 45. Garth Jacks finally brought him down. Good effort by Irvin.
That's one thing about Michael Irvin. He is so big and so strong that he is going to get open. And then after he gets open, he's going to catch the ball, and then he's going to be tough to tackle. You see right there, Brent Alexander, number 46. He runs right by Alexander, and then he's so strong in the shoulders up there that he just kind of shrugs him off, boom, and Alexander goes flying off him, and he picks up another 10 yards.
1st and 10 at the Cardinal 46. Somebody jumped, flags on the play. That was a real touch pass by Aikman to Irvin. Johnny Greer,
offense, prior to
the referee, called against the Cowboys, Nate Newton.
Well, Big Nate there got a little anxious on that to get out there and start getting some blocking done. Hey, he is a heck of a guard. You know, I mean, everyone talks about Nate, you know, and how big he is, and he is all that, and how glib he is, and he is that. But also, he has a lot of speed and a lot of quickness and a lot of strength, and he's a heck of a football player.
And arms that look like legs. Reverse coming. Kevin Williams, flag on the play. He got back just about a yard past the line of scrimmage, stopped by Seth Joyner. This is going to be against the Cowboys, probably holding.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with running reverses, is that happens so many times. You always see so many, or you seem to see so many penalties on reverses, because you're trying to get them going one way and then bring them back the other way, and you seem to get a lot of holding and a lot of clipping penalties on reverses.
Holding, 48, offense.
Holding against Darrell Johnston. Still first down.
Even when the Moose gets a penalty down here, they give him that Moose call. Hear that?
Yep.
Holding number 48, and everyone goes, Moose!
11:50 left in the first quarter, no score. Welcome to those of you who watched Washington and Tampa Bay. Welcome to Texas Stadium. Arizona and Dallas. Outside to Darrell Johnston.
Well, Troy Aikman was going to let the Moose get a little of that back. He had a 10-yard holding penalty, so he put him out there in the flat and said, well, Moose, go get that 10 yards back you just gave him. Moose got about half of it.
about 5.
You know, he's a guy that is appreciated now. I mean, he's making Pro Bowl and stuff, but this guy, Daryl Johnston, is just a football player. I mean, he does all those other things like, you know, block and catch and, you know, he'll get downfield, and I mean, he just plays the game all out every play.
In preseason, he was the backup center, long snapper. Aikman hit, gets the ball out to Emmitt Smith. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
At Washington, trailing by 8, 1st and goal from the 1 with 2 seconds left. Gus Frerotte, only mistake of the day. He throws a pick to Martin Mayhew, ex-Redskin. Tampa wins its 3rd straight over Washington. Back to Pat and John.
Back here at Texas Stadium, no scores yet. The Cowboys' initial drive after they took the opening kickoff. Bright, sunny, perfect day. Barry Switzer, second year as the head coach of the Cowboys. Aikman back to throw it. Going deep. Caught by Michael Irvin at about the 2. Perfect strike and an outstanding catch.
You know, I know that they had to be expecting a blitz here because they were just going to go to the up to Michael Irvin. They put him out there, and they didn't blitz. Here's Michael Irvin out here. He's against Aeneas Williams. He's just going to run it up. You see Aeneas Williams starts to run backward. Michael Irvin just runs right by him. Troy Aikman hits him perfectly right in stride. They were expecting a blitz. They didn't get the blitz, but when you have a guy like Troy Aikman throwing to Michael Irvin, it doesn't make any difference what the defense is.
What a great throw. Emmitt Smith. Nothing doing. Maybe a loss. Both he and the Moose went backwards.
You know, Troy Aikman was saying the other day, I think it's so true, that he bets that he leads the leagues in passes that get down to the 1-yard line.
Not touchdowns.
Yeah, they don't get the touch, and that's the way if you look at Dallas scoring or anyone in these fantasy leagues, it's always Emmitt Smith gets the touchdown, but Troy Aikman throws a lot of long passes.
That was a perfect strike to Michael Irvin. If you had Emmitt Smith, what would you do? You'd throw it.
Fake it to him.
The Novacek touchdown.
That's not a bad thing. You jam him in there, and then you fake it to him on 2nd down because they all believe that when you get down in the goal line, they're going to give it to Emmitt Smith. Fake it to Emmitt Smith. Throw it out there to Jay Novacek.
One of the things the Cardinals said to us yesterday is we just can't afford to get behind. There's a flag on this last play.
The other thing he said is they always seem to score on that first drive, and they did.
Well, maybe not.
There is no infraction on the play. 65 lined up in the correct position. The touchdown is good.
After the conference, for those of you watching Chicago and St. Louis, here's the score, 6-0 at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys just scored, Aikman to Novacek, and they'll be lining up for the extra point right now. Novacek holding for Bonio.
I was at for Troy Aikman on that drive, Pat. He was 6 out of 6 for 97 yards. That's
pretty
bad
good
passing on a drive. You figure how long the football field is.
That means there were a couple of penalties in there.
Went backwards a few times.
That they overcame. Bonio's extra point is good. He'll do the kicking off. 7-0. With 8:42 left to play in the first quarter, the Cowboys lead Arizona. Here's that long pass that set the whole thing up.
Well, Michael Irvin is up on top. Aeneas Williams is covering. He didn't get any bump on him or anything. Michael Irvin had just ran right by Aeneas Williams. But I'll tell you what, the pass protection was great, and that was a perfect pass by Troy Aikman.
Can't throw it any better. Here's the touchdown.
Yeah, they're all jammed in there. You see they're going to stop Emmitt. See that whole thing? Boom, they all go to Emmitt. They fake it to Emmitt Smith, and they leave Jay Novacek open in the end zone. That's tough. Like I said earlier, Buddy Ryan's defense has always been take something away. They got on the goal line, they took Emmitt away, and they gave number 84 to him.
Jay Novacek, who just scored the touchdown from Aikman. 9 plays, 85 yards. They kept the ball 6 minutes, 18 seconds. 2-yard touchdown pass from Aikman to Novacek. And again, there were a couple of penalties in there. That's why Aikman gained more yards than there were on the drive.
You know, and they mix it up so well. You know, I mean, Emmitt Smith running wasn't a big part of it, but it was a little part of it. Gerald Johnston catches a pass. There's Ernie Zampese right there, the offensive coordinator. He throws some big ones to Michael Irvin. He throws a first down to Kevin Williams, the touchdown to Jay Novacek, and that's just one drive.
Bonio will kick off for the Cowboys. First time he's kicked off this year. He had been bothered by leg problems. He's been kicking field goals and extra points, but not kicking off. Lines it down to Ryan Terry. Terry cut down at about the 15. Let's have a look now at the Arizona offense led by the veteran Dave Craig from Milton College, which no longer exists. Dye, Love, Cunningham, Redmond, and Larry Tharp. Garrison Hurst and Terry Samuels, the two runners. Rob Moore, Frank Sanders, the wide receivers. Wendell Gaines, the tight end. Larry Centers is going to start. This is Garrison Hurst deep. Centers now in motion. Going deep. Incomplete. Larry Brown on defense. Rob Moore, the intended receiver. Let's look at the Cowboys defense. The front four as good as they get. Haley, Lett, Maryland, and Tolbert. The three linebackers, Godfrey Miles and Dixon Edwards on the outside, Robert Jones in the middle. And the secondary, Brown, Brock Marion, Darren Woodson, and Clayton Holmes.
I think that long pass to Rob Moore, I think it was a pretty good pass by Dave Craig. I think that hit Rob Moore right in the head.
I think it did.
He was coming out of the shadow into the sun.
Centers, nothing.
Let's watch that. Here's Rob Moore. They were going to go for the big play on Larry Brown right off the bat, and the ball is right there, and it just goes right off him. It was kind of off his shoulder pad. That was a pretty good throw. That should have been caught.
Excellent throw.
That's one thing the Cardinals are talking about, that, you know, that they got Rob Moore from the Jets, and he was going to be their big receiver, but they haven't gone to him enough in 3 games, and they want to get the ball to him more.
3rd and 9.
Better block Charles Haley.
Got 2 men on him. Outside center. Broke through a couple of Cowboys and got close to a first down. Bill Bates was one of those that put the hit on him.
The smart thing was they doubled Charles Haley. The dumb thing was they threw it short of the first down.
I'd like to welcome those of you who watched Minnesota and Pittsburgh to Texas Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys lead Arizona 7-0. Johnny Greer,
Holding,
the referee.
71, offense. It's declined. 4th down.
Holding call. Cowboys took the opening kickoff and drove for the initial touchdown. They lead 7-0. Outstanding drive for Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. Jay Novacek scored the touchdown from 2 yards out from Aikman.
You know, the other group it was an outstanding drive for was the offensive line.
Right.
I mean, that Cowboy offensive line really blocked.
Jet Fiegels. Kevin Williams signals fair catch and makes it. The Cowboys will take over at the 27. The Cowboys leading 7-0 over the Arizona Cardinals. With 7:18 left in the first.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. By American Express. And by Coors Light, shipped cold to bring you all that is great about the Rockies. Tap the Rockies with Coors Light.
Dallas, Texas. The Texas Stadium located in Irving, between Dallas and Fort Worth. 1st and 10 from their own 27 for Dallas. Troy Aikman, the quarterback. Emmett Smith, Darrell Johnston, the two runners behind him. Johnny Greer.
False start, prior to the snap, number 88, offense. Still first down.
As Buddy Ryan and the Cardinals were talking about yesterday, one of the things we can't let happen is let them get that first drive in the end zone, score early in the first quarter, and that's what they've done this year and last year.
You can see last year they scored 100 points to 34 of their opponents. So far this season, it's 27-3.
First and 15. Aikman to throw. Throws it away. Novacek in the area, but that was too high for him.
You know, and a lot of that has to do with the offensive coordinator, Ernie Zampese, and having a quarterback like Troy Aikman. But, you know, really give good mixture. I mean, in that first drive, 5 different guys caught the ball. Ernie never gets into a rut of just doing one thing. For example, they haven't been able to run the ball yet. Emmitt Smith has only carried the ball 3 times for 3 yards, but they're going to get to that. So what they're trying to do now is loosen up this Cardinal defense.
Ernie's not going to run out of pencils either. Emmitt Smith out of bounds.
Run out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
Got about 3 or 4. Lorenzo Lynch.
Yeah, the Cardinals came in here with 1 goal. And, you know, again, that's a Buddy Ryan defense, and that's their whole idea. They're going to take away one thing. It's this guy here, number 22. In other words, if they're going to let Troy Aikman beat him or Michael Irvin or Jay Novacek, but right now, initially in this game, they are going to stop Emmitt Smith.
Well, that's an all-day job.
Well, that's what Buddy's always believed. You take away the run, make them pass, make them one-dimensional, then go after them.
3rd and 13, 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. Here comes the blitz. Aikman. Out of the hands of Corey Fleming. Ball should have been caught.
See, that's what he wants to do. You know, get that long yardage and then be able to blitz or not blitz, but, you know, really put the heat on the quarterback, and that was a perfect Cardinal secondary.
And you got to catch this.
I mean, that's the thing that happens when you do go on that blitz. You do cover one-on-one, and your cover guy has to be able to do it. And then if you get the ball away, you got to catch it.
John Jett back to punt for Dallas. Anthony Edwards deep for the Arizona Cardinals.
Surprise!
Jett slices it a bit. Takes a bad bounce if you're a Dallas fan. Good for Arizona. Out of bounds at about the 45. 6:32 left to play in the first quarter at Texas Stadium, and Dallas leads Arizona 7-0. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Texas Stadium. Dallas 7, Arizona nothing. The Cardinals have the ball at their own 45. Garrison Hurst and Terry Samuels in the backfield now. They started Larry Center. Craig is the quarterback. 16-year veteran. Hurst.
Again to Garrison Hurst.
You know, we were talking to Garrison Hurst last night. He said, you know, I don't think we're going to have much success running inside. I think we're going to have to run off tackle and outside. He just proved it then.
He came out of there faster than he went in.
Yeah, when you have, you know, Russell Maryland in there playing the run and Big Cat Leon Lett and Robert Jones in there, you aren't going anywhere. And they didn't get any movement at all on that inside trio.
Back the other way. 2nd and 12. Well, Garrison Hurst takes it outside. A little more success, but not a lot.
That's what he learned. I think that's what he learned. You know that old experiment somewhere in psychology, remember, where you would go and a rat would go in, and if he'd go left, you'd hit him over the head, and if he'd go right, he'd get the cheese. After a couple times, he'd go in and go right all the time. I think Garrison Hurst, where you go in the middle, that doesn't work, you go outside.
We didn't have rats in my school.
No, but I mean, that's like Pavlov or someone. I mean, that's one of those things that, you know, even a rat, if you hit him in the head, won't go that way, he'll go where the cheese is.
Pavlov played with the Packers, I think.
The nose tackle.
Outside the center. Larry centers near a Cardinal first down. Greg Trimble made the stop.
I think if you would ask any player that plays against the Cardinals, who's their best offensive player, they would say Larry Centers.
Yet he doesn't start.
Yeah, but I mean, he's in there a lot. I think that, you know, because he's not a real big guy, and you know, they like to pick the spots with him. But this guy is a tough guy. I mean, Charles Haley says he's one of the best blocking backs in football. He's one of the best receiving guys. You know, and he's just one of those guys that anything you need, he can do. Except you didn't get the first down there, and they got a punt.
But he's a good, tough runner to go along with that. Beagle. High kick. Evan Williams signals fair catch and makes it at about the 12-yard line. The Cowboys will take over maybe the 13. 7-0. Dallas over Arizona. 4:18 left to play in the first quarter. On that punt by the Cardinals, there was a late flag thrown, and the discussion went on during the timeout. And it looks like the Cardinals have gotten a first down as a result of that.
Right. It's against the Cowboys.
We had 12 men on the field.
12 men on the
during
field.
the last kick on the defense. That's first down, Arizona.
That does not make for a happy special teams coach.
And a less happy head coach, because the head coach can get mad at the special teams coach and the guy that was the 12th guy out. You see right there is the 12th guy, and it wasn't that there was 12 men on there. There were 12 on the field, one trying to get off, and he wasn't hustling. I mean, he should have been off. Remember, it was a 4th and short.
Yeah.
I think they weren't sure that the Cardinals were going to go for it or punt it.
Alert play by the Cardinals to go ahead and snap the ball so quickly. Garrison Hurst outside left for a couple. Stopped by Robert Jones.
Yeah, well, that's what Garrison Hurst again was talking about. There's not going to be much in there where the rat goes, where he gets hit over the head. But you just go out. You know, you can go right or left, but you go off tackle or around the end. But I don't, you know, everyone looks at Charles Haley, you know, and he's not a real big guy, and they think we can run at Charles Haley. In all my years of watching Charles Haley, I have never seen anyone ever make a living running at Charles Haley.
Craig back to throw it. Pass complete. I believe, no, hit the ground. Not complete. Frank Sanders thinks he had it.
You know, on offense, they're going to take away Emmitt Smith, and on defense, they're going to take away Charles Haley. And you could just see that Emmitt Smith isn't going to beat him with the run, and Charles Haley isn't going to beat him with the pass, because they have, every time they go back to pass, they have 2 guys blocking Charles Haley.
If you're going to do those 2 things, you've taken a couple of giant steps toward beating the Cowboys.
Yeah, and then, you know, but then Leon Lett has to come in, you know, and Tolbert has to come in if they're going to do that.
3rd and 8. Craig. It's a catch. It's a catch by Frank Sanders coming back toward the ball.
That was a heck of a throw by Dave Craig, too. Watch Craig here. He's in a shotgun. He's going to get the pressure. First of all, it's Haley. He's the first guy to break through. That flushes him out to the right, and he makes that throw on the run and gets it out there to Frank Sanders. I don't know if Sanders had both feet in, though.
Well, he's
watch
pushed.
Charles Haley. He's going to take that inside. See him take that inside? That's the thing that flushes him out. He gets to the outside, makes a pretty good throw.
4th and about a yard. Cardinals going. Yeah, the man in motion. Oscar McBride, but the line, the offensive line jumped.
Start, 65, offense.
Ernest Dye jumped too soon.
Yeah, that'll kill you. That's what discipline is. I mean, here's Ernest Dye right here. Now he knows that the ball is probably going to be run to his side, and the snap counts on 2. Ernest Dye goes on 1. When I coached, I used to always talk, to me that was discipline. It wasn't whether you wore a shirt and a tie or whether you said hello and thank you. It was if you stayed on side.
Rick Davis from about 54 yards out. No good. Bounced off the goalpost. Plenty of distance, but just bounced out. Hit the goalpost way up high from 54 yards. 6 Central.
There's
above and beyond,
right there.
Texas Stadium.
Lo and behold.
1st and 10, Dallas at their own 44. Here's Aikman. To Darrell Johnston. About 3. Stopped by Garth Jackson.
He was trying to go deep on that one, but I'll tell you one thing. He's had excellent pass protection. I mean, he had time to look deep, to look. Nothing there, and then he had to come off to Darrell Johnston. But watch his pass protection. This is a way that you should do it. Just watch this left side of the line here. Mark 2 and 8, Nate Newton, Donaldson. See, they just get their guys and they push, and they form a pocket inside there that Troy Aikman can look and step up and throw to anyone he wants.
Aikman. To Kendall Watkins. Now this is a big tight end. A rookie. Came to camp weighing over 300 pounds. Now he's trimmed down a little bit.
They drafted him as a blocker. He was going to be the blocking tight end because Jay Novacek, really isn't much of a blocker as a tight end. They also have Eric Bjornsson.
Right.
So the only real blocking tight end they have is Kendall Watkins, and then they sneak him in there and throw him a pass. That's why no one covers him. And says, hey, this guy's not going to go out for a pass. All he does is block.
Got a 1st down. Aikman's going to throw again. Outside to Michael Irvin. A couple of good moves by Irvin, and he got another 1st.
What was that second group of moves you think that Michael Irvin did there?
I don't know. The first one was effective.
I know it, the first one, but that second one was that was what they used to call like shake and bake or huck and buck. Watch this. He gets by the first guy, and then he does his shake and bake right here. See? That's about 6 shakes and bakes.
It's a late night move.
Trying to stay in square.
1st and 10. Novacek on the move. Hand off to Emmett Smith. You can stop him for a while. Emmett Smith down to about the 7-yard line before they wrestle him down. Williams.
As you say with Emmett Smith, there's only a certain amount of time. Up till now, he had 4 carries and 5 yards. But you see how deep he gets? There's only one back there, and he's about 7 yards deep. Now he can pick a hole. He starts in there, and he makes everyone pursue to that side. Then once they do, then he just cuts against the grain away from the area that they pursue.
Watch him finish this run off.
I mean, he is a fast, quick, and very, very, very powerful guy.
1st and goal from the 6. Emmett Smith into the end zone. That looked like the old drill.
The old middle run drill.
Yeah.
Where the defense is just playing touch tackle. I tell you, he is something.
He really is.
And it's a big part of Emmitt Smith. It's also a big part of that offensive line. And he knows it too. I mean, he can run. You give him a hole, just give him a little crack somewhere, and he's going to get through there, and he's going to hit it quickly, and he'll run against the grain, and he'll do all those things. But he needs that big offensive line out in front of him.
No matter where the opening is, he'll find it.
He had like 5 carries for 4 yards. So you think, oh boy, Emmett's under control. Then he goes 2 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown. He doesn't even look like he's working hard, does he?
For the extra point, Novacek holding. Bonio's kick. 14-0, the Cowboys over Arizona. Emmett Smith touchdown.
But here's Emmett back here. He's going to get a lead right here from Daryl Johnston. Yeah, and that's where Johnston is such a good player. I mean, he just makes that block there, and then that middle of the guy. I mean, Newton, Donaldson, Larry Allen. Watch these three guys here in the middle. Watch how they handle their guys. They get everything going backwards. Johnston get his block. They just run the guys right beyond the hole. That looked too easy. You know, and every time he scores, it always looks like the first guy there's number 88 to help him celebrate, doesn't it? That means he probably wasn't blocking.
And Michael Irvin was watching.
Yeah, I mean,
getting there.
No, I mean, guys like Nate Newton there, down there, Ray Donaldson, Larry Allen, Mark II and 8, they're all blocking. And Michael Irvin's just out there watching and say, hey, good going, and he goes over and grabs him.
Terry and Edwards, all-time rushers, consecutive games with a touchdown. Emmett Smith moves closer to the co-leaders, Riggins and Rogers of the Redskins. He's something.
He doesn't even look like he's getting too excited about this game.
That might be the Cardinals' best player, Aeneas Williams.
Yeah, you know, they've already lost two of their top guys. You talked about that, Eric Swan, Eric Hill, their middle linebacker. And now their best defensive player out there is Aeneas Williams. And as you say, they're checking him out.
Monio to kick it off. High kick handled by Ryan Terry at about the 5. Got some room. They shut it down pretty quickly. Greg Trimble down to make the stop on Terry.
It's something how you give this Cowboy team any kind of opening. I mean, the Cardinals had a couple breaks. They had pretty good field position. They got another first down, but then they had a penalty, missed a field goal, opened the thing up, and then here come the Cowboys, led by these guys right there. I mean, look at the size of Nate Newton's arms. I mean, his arms, look at the size of that arm. I mean, that's as big, I swear, as most legs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big old ham hock. I'll tell you, he puts that thing on you, a couple of those on you, you're going to go backward.
First down, Arizona. The handoff is to Garrison Hurst. Tries straight ahead, and that's the same answer he got the first time he tried there. Shante Carver.
Yeah, you'll see number 35 is Aeneas Williams, and it looks like here is where he got his knee hurt, right there where he just twisted. You see him just grab it? I think that's one of those artificial turf things.
Your attention, please.
Traction too good. That is the end of quarter number 1 at Texas Stadium with the Dallas Cowboys looking very impressive. They lead Arizona 14-0. Back at Texas Stadium, Dallas 14, Arizona nothing. Ready to begin the second quarter. Aeneas Williams shaken up.
I think that was one of those knees where the foot gets caught in the carpet. And I think it was in that paint area down in the end zone. His foot got caught. The only thing that would give is the joint. And the knee joint did give.
Garrison Hurst, and there's nothing doing. Flag on the play. Shante Carver out to make the stop.
Yeah, this defensive line of the Cowboys is just controlling the line of scrimmage. I mean, you get Russell Merrill, Leon Lett there, Haley, Tony Tolbert, and they're just not getting any movement. This Cardinal offensive line isn't getting any movement on them. I think Leon Lett made a heck of a play 2 plays ago.
Yeah. Aeneas Williams' left knee is the problem. Probably saw that. They're taking him in, taken him in for x-rays.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 98, defense. First down.
Godfrey Miles calls for that violation.
Following the 5-yard penalty against
Darren Smith, one of the outstanding young linebackers the Cowboys had, still hasn't reported yet.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me to understand. I mean, you know, Darren Smith is a starter. He has good speed. And they're talking about, you know, kind of short money when you think of what they gave some of these other players.
Reverse and a pass coming. Sanders makes the catch. Reverse pass works. Wide receiver to wide receiver. Moore to Sanders.
Hey, that's one thing the Cardinals know that they have to do, that they just can't play normal offensive football and beat this Cowboy team. So they give the reverse. They started off to Rob Moore, and then he runs like he's going to run a reverse play. Then the reverse play becomes a reverse pass, and he throws it to number 81, Frank Sanders. He makes a pretty good catch there. Starts to bobble it and then grabs it.
1st and 10, Arizona at the Cowboy 38. Larry Center bounced out, got a hole, and Larry Center still on his feet inside the 20 to about the 18. Finally stopped by Dixon Edwards.
Now they had that inside plugged up. Watch these guys just plug up right here. Centers comes in, pops here, and then says, whoa, there's nothing there. And then he goes around to the outside. But watch the Cowboys. They just stuffed that run. See Leon Lett? He just takes Duval Love and throws him right into center. Centers bounces out. Clayton Holmes there misses a tackle, and that lets Centers get about 6 more yards. Good initial play, poor play after that by the Cowboys defense.
1st and 10, Arizona. Cowboy 18, blitz coming. Craig just barely handed the ball off. Russell Maryland on the stop. Garrison Hurst carried it.
You wonder how Dave Craig got rid of that ball. Dixon Edwards hit that gap. That's what you try and do. You try and time the gap and hit the gap just as the ball is snapped. Now watch Edwards. He's going to hit the gap just as the ball snapped, but he gets the handoff. Dave Craig gets a handoff. Watch 58. You see, you try and time it. He hit it perfectly, and the ball carrier ran right by him.
That was close.
That could have caused a fumble. That will usually cause a fumble.
2nd down. They need 8. To Sanders. His helmet bounces down toward the end zone, but he keeps the ball.
They're hitting down there. That's going to happen anytime you run a crossing route. Guy Frank Sanders is a pretty tough receiver. A rookie out of Auburn. He's going to come on a cross. He's going to come across right to left here. See, Craig is watching. In fact, he sees him all the way. He comes underneath. In fact, underneath means he comes underneath the linebacker. The linebackers drop, and Sanders comes across in front of him.
3rd and 2. Hurst. Nothing doing. Robert Jones.
Robert Jones is just too fast there.
Yep.
That's one thing about these Cowboy linebackers. They can run. I just think we try and get outside, we just can't get away from those middle guys. But watch Robert Jones here. When he sees that ball, he's back off. The motion brings him to the right side. He comes off that block and then just comes right down the line of scrimmage.
Heck of a play.
By a middle linebacker, that is, because he had a good read, good block.
Davis. Field goal is good from 31 yards, and the Cardinals get on the scoreboard. Cowboys lead it 14-3 with 11:12 left in the 2nd quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Lay's and Wavy Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't eat just one. By Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide. And by McDonald's, the official restaurant of the National Football League.
Little cattle drive in the area at Texas Stadium. Dallas leading 14-3. Cardinals just got the field goal from Greg Davis. This is going to be Kevin Williams on the kickoff return. Up to the 31, perhaps.
We saw Charles Haley, remember, just before we went to commercial, we saw Haley complaining to the official. We went back and what's he complaining about? Here's the play right here. Here's Charles Haley. Now watch Larry Tharp is number 71. He comes, blocks him from behind, and grabs him. So Charles is helping the referee right there.
He has reason to complain.
And he's still talking about, hey, you know what happened to me on that reverse? The guy went around, blocked me from behind, and grabbed me right in front of the official, and he didn't call anything.
Darrell Johnston in motion. Aikman on first down, through, incomplete. Kevin Williams had it, lost it, almost got it again, and lost it again.
That'll make Aikman now 9 out of 12. And you look at the distance he threw, 5 for 5 in that short step, 0 to 5, 2 for 3 from 6 to 10, 1 for 1, 11 to 15, and then 1 out of 2 deep. So, you know, and short, I mean, in this area, you expect a high percentage. But the other thing it shows that he's not just he's not just throwing it in one area. He's throwing it up and down the field.
Emmitt Smith. Emmitt's off. Tripped up as he got into Cardinal territory at their 45. Emmitt Smith just tripped up by the last man. Lassiter tripped him up.
Again, the story is he's going to run in the middle. Just watch this blocking here. Here's Emmitt Smith. He gets the deep thing. Now, he doesn't always cut back. I mean, he's going to look, and he's going to hit that hole, and if it's there, he's going to split it right now. He sees it. He gets a good trap block. He just runs straight ahead. Brent Alexander, again, the free safety. He was up there like the 8th man up, and he just missed the tackle.
Yep. Aikman back to throw. Dumps it to Emmitt Smith. Smith still on his feet, still going inside the 10, down at about the 1-foot line.
Anyone that ever wants to be a football player and is watching this, you learn one thing from Emmitt Smith here. When you get the ball, you turn and you run it straight up the field. You see, I mean, there was no going to the outside, looking for the sideline, anything. Straight up the field, and you keep those knees moving. I mean, that is great running by Emmitt Smith. That is very, very poor tackling by the Cardinals.
And with all that, watch him protect the ball when he feels contact coming.
Just watch his eyes here, Pat. He sees everything. He sees the whole field.
He just scored the touchdown. His second of the day.
I think I saw big Derek Kennard was in there, number 60. They just signed him this week, and I think Emmitt on that touchdown went right over big Kennard.
Well, let's have a look at it.
He's going to run right in here on this side. Now watch the right side of the line block. Again, they block down. Here he goes, just runs right there. Heck, there's no one there. All the Cardinals were down on the ground.
O'Neill's extra point good. 21-3. Watch this. Protect the ball and head for the goal line. (21-3). The Cowboys lead the Cardinals. Second quarter. Emmitt Smith just scored his second touchdown of the day. O'Neill to kick it off. Ryan Terry to return it. Just outside the 30.
Yeah, so much for stopping Emmitt Smith. Let's just watch some of these blocking things we talk about. Here, Larry Allen is going to make a trap block, but watch Nate Newton here and how strong he is. I mean, he's going to hit his guy. Watch him there. He just hits him, and he just pushes him straight out of the way. I mean, look at how these holes become so big. Nate just takes his guy, and he pushes him 5 yards to the side. Tuanay says, holy moly, this is going to be a big hole here. Number 71 says, I better get out of the way. That's a good move by Mark Tuanay to get out of Emmitt Smith's way.
Good block by Donaldson also.
But did you see what Nate did to Bernard Wilson?
Yes.
He knocked him 5 yards sideways.
Craig back to throw it. Going deep. Pass is caught by Rob Moore at the Cowboy 25. Covered by Clayton Holmes. Or Clayton Holmes was there. 55-yard gain.
That's the thing that Dave Craig was talking about. The two big things was, one, that you have to get some big plays, and two, that he has to get the ball to Rob Moore. That wasn't bad coverage here by Clayton Holmes, but that was a perfect throw by Dave Craig.
Those two Cardinal wide receivers are both big, both Sanders and Moore.
I'll tell you about that. You know, that Dave Craig. I mean, he's 16 years in the league, and he can get hot.
There's a reason he's been around 16 years. Wendell Gaines makes the catch right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Pat, the Eagles have scored 10 points off of turnovers, including this one. Ismail, rocket that is on the reverse, fumbled after being hit by Andy Harmon. Greg Jackson takes it midair, heads the pay dirt. The Eagles are up 17-3 on the Raiders in Oakland. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
Things more according to form at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead 21-3, but the Cardinals on the move. 2nd and 1. Hurst deep. Garrison Hurst gets the Cardinal first down.
Yeah, they just can't get any movement on that inside group of Maryland and Letton Jones to let Hurst have any soft spots in there. You know, it used to be when everyone was using a 3-man line, you had to get a movement on the nose tackle. Then when they go to 4-man line, you got to get movement on these two guys here. You have to get them coming backwards, because if they win the battle on the line of scrimmage of penetration, you're not going to have anywhere to run.
First down, Arizona at the Dallas 14. Craig to throw it. If he has time, does. Centers. Touchdown. See him drag his feet, keep him in the end zone.
You see Dave Craig? I mean, he watched Centers all the way, but he had to get away from a rush. He's saying this is why people say that Larry Centers is the best offensive player on this team. He knew exactly where he was. He just kept the rest of his body moving, his eyes watching, his hands working, and his feet still.
That's hard to do if there's no ball coming.
But Craig made a heck of a throw.
He really did. Extra point by Davis is good. It's 21-10. Our Aflac trivia question this week: which current NFL quarterback has the most media guide pages in the club media guide dedicated to him? Which quarterback has the most pages dedicated to him? 21-10 the score. Miss Weird World on the Fox Tuesday night movie. Parental discretion advised. Kevin Williams returning the kick.
Just watch that last play that Craig did. Here comes Robert Jones. He's going to be free. Dave Craig beats him here, gets him off, and makes that touchdown throw to Larry Centers. Watch, Jones comes up the middle. They don't block him. In fact, in the old days, he used to say they left one for the quarterback. They left it for Craig. He just kind of ditched him and then threw this pass to Larry Centers. That's a couple of great plays on one play. That guy there and the guy that threw it to him.
I'll say 1st and 10 at their own 30 for Dallas. Here's Aikman. Kevin Williams. Out of bounds at the 45. Let's go back again to the Aflac question. Which quarterback current in the NFL has the most media guide pages dedicated to him? Who would you think? Well, the answer is Dave Craig, who has 41 pages in the Cardinal media guide. Dan Marino's second. Troy Aikman has just 7 pages.
Well, the thing is Dave Craig has been in the league for 16 years. Troy Aikman for 7.
Aikman back to throw. In the direction of Novacek, incomplete.
Another thing, when you read all those pages about Dave Craig, he's from a college. Now there are guys playing in the NFL that are from colleges that no longer play football. You know, but Dave Craig is from a college, Milton College, which is in Wisconsin, that's no longer a college.
Doesn't even exist.
Yeah, he said they dropped out like in '82 or something like that. He said the baseball team was out playing the baseball. They didn't even have any money to bring their baseball team
Had to take up collection to get him back. Sherman Williams, the ball carrier. Backing up Emmett Smith. Good run. Cowboys top pick. And the draft.
Yeah, he's just in there to give Emmett Smith a little break. Emmett Smith already has over 100 yards and touchdowns and everything, and looks like he got that cap on. He doesn't look like he's going to play any more this half. Although, knowing Emmett Smith, if the Cowboys get a little closer to the goal line here, he may exchange that cowboy cap for a football hat.
Yeah, he's not going to sit too long.
I don't think so, but he looks like he is, though.
Yeah, he does. Well, he's done an excellent afternoon work already. Aikman back to throw it. Outside to Eric Bjornsson.
Yeah, a big part of this is the Cowboy offense is really going. I mean, Aikman is hot. The offensive line is blocking like heck. Good play calling. But I'll tell you another thing. This Cardinal defense, their tackling is atrocious.
Well, they've lost perhaps their 3 best players.
Yeah, but if you're a pro, you still got to be able
sure.
to tackle. I mean, that's the thing. If you can't tackle, you shouldn't be able to play in the National Football League.
2nd and 2. Sherman Williams nudges closer to a first down. Not quite.
You know, that's the thing that you like about it. You know, a team having a big offensive lineman. And you talk about big. Yeah, here comes Emmett Smith in there now. And you see they just brought, I said earlier that they brought Kennard back. Derek Kennard's in there. And then what they do is they put Stone at an end and Kennard at the tackle.
Emmett Smith got the first. Cardinals say he didn't. It's very close. There's Derek Kennard.
How much do you think Derek Kennard weighs?
More than he says.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that he says anything. They didn't get any first down on that play. They're going to have to go for it again. But Derek Kennard played for these Cowboys, started and played well last year. Was let go in the offseason, didn't get a contract, didn't get on with another team, came back to the Cowboys, practiced for about a half hour and retired, went home and just came back this week.
Emmitt Smith deep. He'll get another crack. Cardinals don't think he got it. Cowboys do think they got it.
Crowd thinks he got it. I think he got it because he got that lean in there and that lunge, and he's so powerful that he can get low and still be powerful. You know, that's one thing that tall running backs have a problem with, is getting low. Here's Emmitt Smith, and he's going to hit right in here and then get down here and then just power it right into there. But tall running backs always have a problem with getting low and still having power. You see right there at the end, right there where he got down, those last couple of steps is where he got the first down.
Just sort of burrowed ahead for the first down. 1st and 10. Aikman a throw. Bjornsson. Incomplete. He had it, juggled it, and lost it.
Troy Aikman really likes Bjornsson.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. In fact, he's out of Washington. He was a quarterback, and he's one of those guys. He's a lot like Jay Novacek, because Jay Novacek's background was he was a quarterback at one time.
That's there.
And that's a perfect pass. I mean, that's right there in the hands. And you know, you don't have to tell a guy like that, hey, you got to catch those. The guy that knows it the most is the guy who just dropped it.
Emmitt Smith rips down to about the 9. Stopped by Brent Alexander.
The way Emmitt Smith is playing this year, Pat, he looks at he's playing at one speed, you know, like he's in 4th gear, and everyone else is still in 1st gear.
He is a big 209.
And he's an amazing football player. I mean, not just running back, but just football player. I mean, just everything that has to be done: blocking, short yardage, catching, running. anything that has to be done. He's just a great football player.
That's the ultimate compliment. 2-minute warning. Dallas 21, Arizona 10. We approach halftime.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Visa, the official card of the NFL.
That's South Fork, where the very famous television series was shot. Dallas.
What did that horse just say?
What?
What did that horse just say?
He just cleared his throat. There's Emmett. Dragged down at the 3 by Lassiter. Emmett grabbed his side, but he gets up in a hurry.
Well, I know the thing that everyone's worrying about are those hamstrings, and Emmett said he worked the whole off season on the hamstring. One thing he does is he drinks a lot more water because they thought that maybe part of his problem was being dehydrated. But he's very, very conscious of those hamstrings and keeping those hamstrings healthy.
Whatever he's done, it's worked. I've never seen him look better. Aikman. Just tossed that one to a vacant area.
Well, he had Jay Novacek and Darrell Johnston over on his right side, and that's where he was trying to go. The play pass didn't fool the Cardinals. They had that covered. Then he had to come back to his left side, and he just threw it away.
That'll make it 3rd and goal from the 3.
Maybe they were getting too fancy with themselves. I think if they had 2nd down, they'd just give it to Emmett again. If they didn't get it on 2nd down, just give it to him again on 3rd.
Might do that right here.
I mean, they would have gained something on 2nd down with it.
Cardinals showing a blitz. Aikman hits Darrell Johnston.
That's the thing. You always want to hit the blitz. You want to hit the gap at the time the ball snaps. So you try and time it. When you don't time it, this is what happens.
Offside, number 59, defense. Unabated to the quarterback.
Coming up, the Dockers halftime report. James Brown, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, and Jimmy Johnson with all the scores and highlights. The Dockers halftime coming up. 3rd and goal from the 2 now as the Cardinals were called to that violation. There's Derek Kennard. Emmett Smith deep. Emmett gets the carry and doesn't get anywhere this time. 21-10, Dallas leading Arizona, and here comes the field goal unit.
And what they do is you know they bring in, we saw where they bring in Derek Kennard, they put him at guard, then they put Larry Allen at the end position. That's the side they ran to. And of course, Larry Allen is an ineligible number playing an eligible position. First they did all that and ran right at him and nothing happened.
Bonio for the field goal attempt. Novacek holding. Flags on the play. Flags everywhere on the play. Field goal was good.
Isn't there something? Barry Switzer's here watching this play now, wondering what that penalty is. Last night he was up in St. Louis watching his son play. He was here at practice yesterday, flew in Jerry Jones's jet to St. Louis, watched his son quarterback.
Illegal substitution, number 73, offense.
That's just what you were talking about.
He reported as an eligible receiver and went back to his legal position on this play. That's a 5-yard penalty.
See, he can't do that. After he becomes an eligible position, then he can't come back to being an ineligible position without going out for one play. So Larry Allen went from end back to guard or tackle. And you have to go out for a play. So that's a problem, and that's not Larry Allen's fault. But when you do that on 3rd down and you don't get it, then he has to come out. He can't be on your field goal team.
That guy, number 73, is playing extremely well right now. And he is going to be one of the great linemen to play this game. Bonio Tries again and hits again. From 25. Back at Texas Stadium, you can see what that hole in the roof causes as far as lighting is concerned. You can see as the afternoon dwindles.
It's tough for a receiver, too.
Yeah.
You know, the ball is coming on this kick, for example, and it's tougher on punts and kickoffs, but it's coming out of the shaded area, and it's going to be kicked right into the sun. That's what the Cardinals expect.
Bonio's kick is a good one. Ryan Terry about a yard deep in the end zone. Cut down at the 22. Jim Schwantz made the tackle. Less than a minute left in the first half. The Cowboys lead. Less than a minute in the first half left. 24-10 Dallas. Emmett Smith, an outstanding first half. So is Michael Irvin.
Emmett Smith has had an outstanding everything
Yes.
this season, hasn't it?
Really. Here's Craig back to throw it. Pass complete to Rob Moore. Cardinal first down. He's stopped by Jim Swan. Don't forget to stay tuned for the Dockers halftime report. A lot of scoring around the NFL today.
Here's the thing that the Cardinals have to deal with in the middle is big cat Leon Lett. I mean, he's just so quick and so big and so strong, and you know every time he's going straight up the field, and he's one of the closest defensive linemen to the quarterback. So if you don't get him stopped on or around the line of scrimmage with that big body, he's going to cause havoc when you want to throw the ball.
He and Haley had a little stunt going, which I'm sure they're discussing right now.
And I think that those two guys, Charles Haley and Leon Lett, run the best stunts. Just watch it right here. I think they run the best stunts of anyone in football. You see, they both start up the field, and then Charles Haley comes under. And they really confuse because they don't go sideways. They're both gaining ground all the time as they go to the quarterback.
Remember when Lawrence Taylor and Leonard Marshall used to do that so well for the Giants?
Yeah, they did it well, and I think that Haley and Lett do it as well, if not better than those guys did.
3 wide receivers for the Cardinals, 1st and 10. Dave Craig, the quarterback, back to throw it. Pocket started to collapse. Pass to Rob Moore, who just scooped it and made the catch. 30 seconds left.
I think the Cardinals are finding out one thing in this first half, that they can throw the ball.
Yep.
And if Dave Craig gets on, he can do some damage to you.
Craig underneath. Oscar McBride. Timeout. Cardinals have 1 left now as Craig heads over to talk to Buddy Ryan.
I think the thing they want to talk about is a play that can get them where Greg Davis can kick or try to kick about a 50-yard field goal. Last week he kicked a 55-yard field goal.
He had a 54-yard try here in this game that was far enough, but hit the upright.
Yeah, so he has leg, and so they're about the 50. So they probably, they're trying to come up with some play that can get about 20 yards for Greg Davis.
Mother taught him how to kick.
One of the things that she did is she tied his shoestring. I mean, she tied his chin strap to his shoulder pads to
So he
keep
would
his
look
head
up.
down. Yeah. And then she was something in physics or something. She knew aerodynamics and stuff. So
That's
between tying the chin to the shoulder and then knowing aerodynamics, that equals a kicker.
Yeah.
That's how you guys come to be. It's a combination of tying your head to your chest and aerodynamically proper.
1st and 10. Craig up into the pocket, which collapses. Tony Tolbert, that's their last timeout.
And now he's thinking of going. He thinks he had something out there, but you watch this whole thing, as you said, just collapse on him. And the thing that made it collapse was the pass rush. It started off with Charles Haley being on one side, Tolbert being on the other side, and both of them, the bookends just collapsed right in on Dave Craig.
See what he had.
Well, here's what he was looking at. He's looking at this left side over here, and I think that he thinks that he had a shot. If you look right here, and he's seen that, or he did see that, but Tolbert and Haley didn't let him do anything about that.
Didn't have time. Dave Craig knows what it's like to be sacked, and if you play 16 years, you're going to be sacked.
But it's amazing that you can be sacked that many times and still play 16 years.
And I can't remember any serious injuries to Dave Craig. Very durable, obviously. Craig. That one's picked off. Cowboys come up with the interception.
You see what Charles Haley did to Ernest Dye, though? They tried to double team Haley on that one. At least they were going to keep him out of there. But Haley just took Ernest Dye and just put him right on his back. I mean, that's the thing. You want to rush, and you want to rush with power. Here's Dye, here's Haley, and watch what happens here. They're going to get, it's only a three-man rush. They get him doubled, and watch the power of Charles Haley. I mean, he just takes Ernest Dye and throws him right back at the quarterback.
Pass was intercepted by Alundis Bryce, who just changed numbers when the Cowboys signed Deion Sanders. He had number 21. And now he's number 23.
And that's one thing they're waiting here, and it'll be a while for Deion Sanders. In fact, they say that he's probably going to have his surgery on his ankle next week in Miami. But boy, did this guy play a heck of a first half. You know, when you need a defensive play, and you can say, okay, I need a defensive play, I can have anyone to make it for me. I think right now in football, I'd take this guy right here.
You need somebody to create, and sometimes you need just havoc. You need somebody to create confusion, and he can do that.
Yeah, and he's the guy that's the master of that. He's always going to get penetration, and I think he's the guy that helped Leon Lett.
No question about that.
And I don't know that Charles Haley, you know, he wants to beat the 49ers so bad. I don't know that he's as excited as most of them are about getting Deion Sanders back. Because he said, we're going to beat the 49ers. If we have Deion, we'll beat them. If they have Deion, we don't need Deion to get back at those guys.
That day, of course, when the 49ers come here to play Dallas is November the 12th. The Cowboys 24, Arizona 10. Halftime at Texas Stadium.
About that, but we're going to talk about that first half. Arizona and Dallas. Jimmy, you said before that Dallas's offense is very unforgiving.
Well, you know, JB, they can do it all. They can run the football with Emmitt Smith. They can throw, you know, the ball to Michael Irvin on the one-on-one coverage. And really, Arizona's a desperate football team right now. They're gambling. They're rolling the dice. They're trying to blitz to stop the run on Emmitt Smith. But what happens when you get all those guys ganged up there and Emmitt breaks the line of scrimmage? It's going to be a long run. On top of this, one-on-one coverage on Michael Irvin or Kevin Williams. It's going to get some big plays. You're going to see more of them the second half.
Eric Williams out right now with an injury, but the center of that line, Ray Donaldson replacing Stepnoski with Larry Allen and Nate Newton. They are flat out overpowering people. They lose quickness with Donaldson, but they get a lot of power, a lot of beef. 315 pounds across the board there on an average.
All right, I know Terry had mentioned before that Arizona's a desperate team when they have to go to gadget plays. All right, folks, we're going to take you back to the second half of that game between Arizona and Dallas in Irving, Texas. All of that after this.
Back at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys 24, Arizona 10. Both teams have returned. John, pretty much true to form. I think the Cowboys been able to move the ball when they wanted to. The Cardinals' tackling has been kind of bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are just too good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you take Troy Aikman, when he gets hot like this and he has that protection, he's darn near perfect. Then he has Michael Irvin out there. If you cover him one-on-one, you can just throw it up to him anytime. Then you have Emmitt Smith running the ball. On defense, they're giving him the pass rush. Although, I do think if the Cardinals could tackle a little better on defense, and on offense, keep going for those big plays. There may be some big plays there for them.
I was about to ask you, what can they do to get back into this game? The score is not that bad, 24-10. The Cowboys lead.
I just think staying with it. I mean, staying aggressive and have to take chances. I mean, you know, like at halftime they said they're desperate. Well, they don't match up. I mean, the Cardinals aren't as good a football team as the Dallas Cowboys. So they're going to have to play desperately. They're going to have to take some chances. They're going to have to go for some big plays. But one thing, you know, the fundamental part of it is you just have to tackle better. And I'm sure Buddy Ryan knows that. I'm sure that somewhere he talked about that. If we're going to play and we're going to play defense, you guys better tackle better. And you better get a whole bunch of guys there to tackle. And when we get in a passing situation, you better block 94.
Or your passer's going to get killed. Bonio to kick it off. Take some chances doesn't mean you panic, though. Ryan Terry at the goal line. Around the corner. Chased and run out of bounds. Bill Bates, Darren Woodson right there. First half statistics. Rushing yards just 27 for the Cardinals, 99 for the Cowboys.
You know, that's a big thing. I mean, every game, even though this is a passing game in the NFL, but it always starts with this, you know, being able to run and being able to stop the run. And when you can't run and you can't stop the run, then you're going to be down.
Well, that's, you ask, as we go from game to game, you ask every head coach, what do you have to do to win? We have to be able to run, and we have to stop the run.
Yeah, because it all starts here. Because if you can't do that, then you can't play pass. And then if you can't play pass, then pass protection is going to be tough.
First and 10, Dave Craig. Hands off to Garrison Hurst. Hurst gets a little bit around the corner. The ball bounced out of bounds, hit by Brock Marion, but he got good yardage nevertheless. That might be their longest running play of the day.
This is Garrison Hurst's third year, but it's really his first year. You know, I mean, that first year was kind of lost. He had the contract and then the injury, and last year he was hurt and played a little. And this year he came back, and this is kind of his first year as an NFL running back.
He had his first 100-yard game last week. 8 carries, 11 yards today. Again, it's Garrison Hurst. And he gets close to a first down. Charles Haley led the defensive charge.
You see the other guy that was in there is Darren Woodson. You know, that's another advantage that this Cowboy defense has against the run is that they have a safety there in Darren Woodson, and he's going to be right here. But Darren Woodson was a linebacker in college, and he plays defensive back. And if it's a run, he plays it like a linebacker. I mean, see him stick his head in there?
Yep. On first down, Craig again gives to Hurst. Charles Haley and Dixon Edwards stop Garrison Hurst.
And again, here's the guys you have to block right here. I mean, you have to get the guys on the line of scrimmage. Then you can get the linebackers later. But they got Leon Lett moving just a little, but then he spun right back into the hole.
It made him cut back just a little, and Charles Haley arrived on the scene.
Leon Lett is playing a very dominant game, and you know he's playing over Duval Love there, who's from Pittsburgh, but he was in the Pro Bowl last year, so he didn't draw an average guy.
11-year veteran is Duval Love. Craig back to throw it. Leon Lett broke loose, pass incomplete. Good defensive play by Brock Marion.
And
Frank
Leon
Sanders, the intended receiver, flag on the play.
I was just going to say, Leon Lett is upset because he broke free right there, and then he got cut after he broke free. We were just talking about how quick he is and how big he is and how dominant he is. But just watch his initial move right here. I mean, he just takes Love and slaps him to the outside, slaps him to the inside, and the only thing that Duval Love can do is tackle him.
Still second down.
Big Cat is a good name for him because he is quick and very graceful.
But did you see that? He gave him a double. That's what you call a double head slap.
Yep.
I mean, he slapped him boom one way, then he slapped him boom the other way, and then he went whap right up the middle. Whew. This guy is a football. I mean, this is a defensive tackle. He's giving him a lesson on how you play that position today.
That'll make your ears ring a little bit. Second down, Craig back to throw. Out of the pocket again. Pass is incomplete.
See, Craig is starting to anticipate that pressure from his left side, He's starting to move to that right before the pressure even gets there.
Marcus Dowdell.
That's David Craig is the first guy there to him.
Dowdell, number 84, is the Cardinals.
They're having trouble again with Haley and Leon Lett over there. They had it the whole first half, and in this thing, and so I think Craig is starting to anticipate it. That was Marcus Dowdell. I think what happened here, Pat, I think he lands on the ball. I think that's the injury. But see, the ball, I think, hit the ground just before it got to him. And then he landed, his stomach landed right on the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And that ground doesn't give much, and the ball is kind of hard. And when you fall on top of it, it will make you take a couple of short breaths.
That's the old deal, getting hit in the solar plexus. You know, and that take anything you have. Well, just how one shot there can take all the wind out of you, just take all the air out of you.
Third down and about 10. 24-10, the Cowboys lead.
Dave Craig's giving coaching points.
Yep, so is Haley. Cowboys had a blitz going, and down goes Craig. Chad Henning, Robert Jones converge on Craig.
Well, here's the pressure this time. We'd seen Leon Lett get it. Leon Lett's on this side this time, but again, it's that right side. It's Chad Hennings there. He just takes it and just pushes right up the middle again, right through Duval Love, taking his inside shoulder. Poor old Dave Craig didn't have a chance. That was what you call an avalanche. Jailbreak.
Bull rush.
Bull rush. Bull rush to a jailbreak.
Kevin Williams dropped the ball momentarily, picks it back up. Down he goes.
There's a call timeout on the field.
Cowboys with their first possession of the second half coming up. They lead by 14.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Intel. Intel Inside Pentium processor-based PCs run today's PC software best. By Beechwood Aged Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. By Old Spice High Endurance Deodorant for long-lasting odor protection. Now you've got proof, not promises. And by Splitfire, the patented performance spark plug.
Camera does amazing things, doesn't it, John? Gets everybody's attention.
Yeah, that duck, I think, was going sideways and almost got stuck between those rocks. Did you see him jump?
A stuck duck.
A jumping duck.
Aikman back to throw it. He's going to run. Speaking of running, let's check out Emmett Smith running in the first half.
We'll see where he ran. We know he ran well. Only 8 yards to the left, 65 yards in the middle, and 13 yards to the right. So we talk about the job that the center and the two guards, that big, powerful inside, did, and you can see that that's also where Emmett Smith ran most of the time and, of course, gained most of his yards.
Second down. Aikman to Michael Irvin. Irvin close to a first down. Those guys in the middle, and those are, I think, correct weights.
Well, see here, if you're huddled this way, they're pointed this way. Nate goes this way, left guard. Ray Donaldson, the center. Larry Allen, the right guard. And then you just get in here and you put back here, there's 950. That's 1,000 pounds. You just do tons, you know, and you just, boom, you just run right by him.
Do you believe that Larry Allen weighs more than Nate Newton?
No. This guy here weighs more. Not the officials. I'll guarantee you Nate does.
There he is. His arm weighs.
Well, see, he's still starting that hitch now. That's that old Nate Newton hitch. And heavy guys will always do that. I'm there too. And I don't know why skinny guys never hitch their pants up, and guys that have combinations hanging over right there always hitch their pants up. Now, why can't you keep your pants up when you got a lot to keep them up?
Because you don't get them all the way up, I think. This is Emmett Smith. Out of bounds, midfield. Watch Larry Allen come out in front of Emmitt Smith.
Now, that's one thing about those guys. You know, we talk about the size, but also watch these three guys move. I mean, watch how quick they are. I mean, they can run like backs. I mean, Allen gets around there, gets the linebacker. He gets out in front of Emmitt Smith. Nate Newton, when it goes to the right, he can get out in front of the running back. I mean, these guys, Nate said something like that. I don't know why they all sweat like that. They look like they've been sitting in something. But Nate says that they can all dance. You don't find too many guys that big that can all dance well.
I like to see that.
Well, the problem is probably finding people that want to dance with them.
Yeah, do they dance with each other or what?
No, no.
Pat Summerall, John Madden back at Texas Stadium. Cowboys ball at midfield. Second and short. They lead 24-10.
The Cowboys linemen have a contest to see who can sweat the farthest down the leg, and Larry Allen is winning.
Outside to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt gets down to the Cardinal 41. Seth Joyner tripped him up.
You know, Troy Aikman has said this year he's going to safety. If you look at him, he has a longer face mask this year. He has that heavy chin strap. He's wearing a knee brace and high tops. You see, here's the thing. Here's the chin strap here and the longer face mask. Here was last year's face mask. You can see that it's shorter. So he's gone to the longer face mask, the chin strap, the knee brace, and the high tops.
And he's just as effective. Smith to about the 39, stopped by Clyde Simmons.
Number 96 leading the charge twice.
And he even has the foam. You see here, every year he gets his chin split open. So now he has the foam that goes on the inside of that big old chin strap.
Got it split open again this year.
I know. So he got that big face mask. That didn't help any. He got the chin strap. He got the rib pads. He got the knee brace. And he got the high tops. And this year he's not going for looks, just safety.
That'll disappoint a lot of people. Diving catch by Novacek from Aikman. Terry Hogue made the stop.
You know, this offense just has to frustrate a defense because the minute you start to anchor in there to stop Emmitt, then they start working their receivers, then you play the receivers, and then the next thing they do is they go back to working Emmitt again. And through all that, this big offensive line is doing their job.
Third and short, and Derek Kennard is back in.
Well, see, now Larry Allen now moves out here to tight end.
Aikman just threw it away. There was a flag on the play. The pass was intended for Darrell Johnston, and the Cardinals saw it coming and grabbed him.
I think Garth Jacks knocked the moose down before the ball got there.
Yep.
There was a play pass. Now it was towards the side. Larry Allen was playing tight end on, so you know they're not going to throw it to old Larry Allen.
No.
He's leading the league in sweat down the leg.
Holding, 53, defense. First down.
53 is Garth Jacks, and he's going to be out there on Darrell Johnson. See 48 Johnson, he goes there. See Garth Jacks right here.
Got him.
He's just going to grab him. He just grabs him and tackles him. And here comes the ball later. Whoop. Yep. If you're going to get beat, you may as well tackle him.
Yep.
Just a 5-yard penalty and a first down.
That's Emmitt. Emmitt Smith to about the 25 behind Darrell Johnston's block.
And the other guy was a cross block between Mark Tuinei and Nate Newton. But they do, you know, we saw on defense how they cross or have a game. And then on offense, you get the same thing. See, here's Nate. He'll come this way. Tuinei comes down. We get the block there and then the lead there. But watch how quickly they move. You see how Nate comes out there? Boom, right there. He makes that hit. And then Emmitt Smith is just running right in behind him.
The moose looks like an elk behind that big offensive line. The pass to Irvin from Aikman. First down at about the 15. Patrick Hunter on the stop. The Cowboys record with Emmitt Smith has 100 yards. He has 102 yards today.
I think that's darn near a given now, isn't it? I mean, every time the Cowboys play, Emmitt Smith's going to get his 100 yards. Because one thing, when the Cowboys run, he's the only guy that runs with the ball. And that's not bad. I mean, you wouldn't want to do it any other way.
No.
You see that contest still going on. Larry Allen still winning the length of the sweat down the leg contest.
Aikman to throw. Away. Clyde Simmons pressured Aikman.
And that's about the fourth receiver. He had 3 receivers on his right side, and he looked. There was nothing open, so he threw to his left and just threw it away.
Second and 10 at the 15. Michael Irvin has 5 catches for 105 yards today. The one long one on the opening drive. He split wide to the left this time. Second and 10. Smith down to about the 11. Terry Hogue. There's a name we've been saying a long time.
He's been around for a long time, and as long as Buddy Ryan has a job, a guy like Terry Hogue will always have a job because he's a 12-year veteran safety, one of those guys that plays nickel, dimes, and makes the calls in those situations. Every defense, every offense, every situation he's seen, been there. Very smart player. A guy like that, if he doesn't get injured, will always have a job.
3rd and 7. He's always been a good, tough tackler. And they need that. Aikman. Terry Hogue. Pass intended for Corey Fleming.
He knew that. He was jumping that thing. I mean, you know, if you take a guy like Hogue, he's going to read, he's going to read the drop of the quarterback, then he's going to read the quarterback's eyes, and then he's going to jump on that. Now, if you just watch Hogue there, you see Aikman is looking to the right all the way. So if you look at the receiver you're going to throw to all the way, a guy like Terry Hogue will always get a jump on it.
Bonio will try from 30 yards. He is good. And the Cowboys move ahead 24-10.
Number 84, Marcus Dowdle.
27-10. Bonio, good high kick. Going to be handled by Ryan Terry. Outside the 30. Scott Case made the tackle. This game summary brought to you by Budweiser. Aikman 16 out of 24. 1 touchdown to Novacek. Emmitt Smith 158 total yards, 2 touchdowns. Craig is 11 out of 14. Dallas has 343 total yards. Arizona 190. Cardinal first down at their own 31. 5:25 left in the 3rd. They go with 2 tight ends. Craig batted down. Leon Lett. That's something else he does very well.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he has harassed and been so dominant in this game. You'll see him right here that he's going to take a push, and then he takes throwing lanes away. You see, you get the push, and now you look, when Craig is looking out here, you can't get to him, but you can get to the lane that he's going to throw in.
The big cat is 6'6". And if he keeps playing like this, the Pro Bowl is a given.
Oh, yeah, he's automatic. But the thing is I mean, he's just 6'6", and he just takes away those lanes.
Yep. Craig. Incomplete. Intended for more. Just barely off his fingertips.
You know, we're seeing more good defensive tackles, though. You know, because Remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, everyone was using a 3-man line, and the big guys were the linebackers. Now, as they go back to the 4-man line, I think to be a good 4-man line team, you need at least one good or dominant tackle inside.
3rd and 10. 3 wide receiver package for the Cardinals this time.
Cardinals are 0 for 5 in 3rd down conversions.
Craig to throw it. Flags down. Hennings and Haley both broke free, but the whistle stopped it.
I'll tell you one thing. The Cardinals have trouble in this situation. When they get to 3rd down and they go to shotgun, it's whether it's a substitution or it's a shotgun itself, I'm not sure. But last week against Detroit, they had problems. They have problems here today. I think the shotgun is very, very difficult to use on the road.
Because of the noise. Like Dave Craig's got a list of plays taped to his wrist for situations like this. I don't know if you have any plays for situations like this. Pass is caught by Sanders. And Sanders gets to the Cowboy 45-yard line. The Cowboys had a blitz going, and the Cardinals read it.
And that's not a bad play like that right there. You just look at your wrist, see what you have. Sanders runs it in, and he is wide open. Because what happens when you get the blitz, now there's no one in the middle. You see the guys that would have been in the middle, they're going on the blitz. So when Sanders comes in the middle, he gets a step on Clayton Holmes, and there's no help in there at all.
The helpers were blitzing, and that's a chance you take.
If the helpers don't get to the quarterback.
Right. Craig gives to Hurst. He gets nothing. Right now for a McDonald's game break. Once again, return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Pat, the Giants exploded offensively today, led by Rodney Hampton's career 4 rushing touchdowns as the Giants spanked the Saints 45-29. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
27-10. Stadium, the Cowboys leading the Cardinals.
And Dave Craig has those plays on his arms now, so he's getting a play and then referring to the wristband.
2nd and 10. Has protection, has his tight end, Wendell Gaines. And that'll be a 1st down, Cardinals.
You see Wendell Gaines, when he catches that ball, he is going to be tough to tackle because he weighs 300 pounds.
Right.
I mean, this guy's like 6'4", 300 pounds. He was a basketball player. In fact, he went to the same high school that Buddy Ryan did.
Frederick, Oklahoma.
Right, and then he played 1 year at Oklahoma State. He was a defensive player, and they made him a tight end. But when you get in the open field and you weigh 300 pounds, you are a load to those defensive backs.
And you can move, and you were a basketball player. This is Larry Center from Craig. Down to about the 25. Clock running with 2:55 left in the 3rd quarter. The Cowboys leading 27-10.
The thing about Dave Craig, he hangs in there.
Yep.
I mean, he's a football player, and he's a competitor, and he just knows how to play the game. I mean, whether he has to read plays off his wrist, go to shotgun, you'll get a 10-yard penalty, 5-yard penalty, and come back and do it. He can still do it. He's reading those plays all the way up
at the line of scrimmage. Craig. Pass caught by Moore at about the 4-yard line. That's just a good throw.
And he's just a streak passer. He is, too. I mean, Dave Craig, we've seen him over the years at Seattle, at Kansas City, and Detroit. When he gets hot, he can really get hot.
Yeah.
I mean, he zipped that thing in there to Rob Moore.
It had to be, too.
Yeah, there was no room there. I mean, that's very good coverage by Larry Brown there. He's right there, and it went right under his arm.
1st and goal at the 4. Rob Moore came to Arizona from the Jets. Hurst and Samuels, rather. That's Garrison Hurst. Whirls down to about the 3. You know, in talking to Dave Craig, I want to look at it again.
The thing is, again, it's that inside. It's Russell, Maryland, and those guys inside forcing everything to the outside, and then making it go down the line of scrimmage where you can get your pursuit.
Craig said it when he was at Seattle. He played with Steve Largent, then with Kansas City. He played with Joe Montana, then Barry Sanders with Detroit. Those are the things he remembers. Not in. Hurst to about the 1.
He also said that he never wanted to leave any place that he left.
Yep.
He always liked it where he was and wanted to stay, but the situation always made him go.
Came here because he felt he had a chance to be a starter, and that's what he's become.
And at 16 years, he wanted one more chance. Dave Atkins is the offensive coordinator, is talking to him in his helmet. Then he has the plays on the wristband, but he better hurry up because the play clock is down to 4.
They got it done with 1 second to go. Moore is the intended receiver. It's broken up by Darren Woodson. Here comes the field goal unit. 16 seconds left in the third quarter.
That's a heck of a play by Woodson.
Yep.
He got in there. He really didn't see the ball. He wasn't looking back at the ball either. He was just watching Rob Moore. And when Rob Moore's hands went up, Darren Woodson's hands went up. Now, if he didn't hit that ball, that could have been pass interference.
Greg Davis for the field goal. With Fiegel holding, bad snap. Fiegel's got it down just in time. The field goal is good. 13 seconds left to play in the third quarter. 13 points for Arizona. Dallas has 27. Long-time Cowboy fan, known locally as Crazy Ray.
I think he's known more than locally as
Yeah,
Crazy Ray.
probably.
He was known all over the league. Any team that would come in here to play against the Cowboys would know Crazy Ray.
Yeah. Kevin Williams. Almost broke out of the pack, went down at the 31.
You know, isn't it funny how much difference a year makes? Remember a year ago when Barry Switzer went to see his son Doug play, and it was the thing, oh, he left the team and all that. Now, there's nothing. I mean we were here yesterday, and there was Barry at practice, and now you look, here's Barry sitting at a game. There's his son Doug, the quarterback at Arkansas Pine Bluff. I think they were beaten last night by Howard.
I think that's right.
They were playing Howard, I know.
That's in St. Louis.
Yeah, Doug got the old quarterback sneak there. But, you know, but the thing is, I mean, he took Jerry Jones's airplane, went up to the game.
Novacek from Aikman. Terry Irving knocked him out of bounds. That's the end of 3 at Texas Stadium, with the Cowboys leading the Arizona Cardinals 27-13. The wounded on the Arizona sideline.
Well, you know, here's Aeneas Williams. We saw him earlier, remember, on the carpet on that touchdown by Emmitt Smith. He injured his knee. They said if they're going to re-examine that tomorrow. In the back there was Lorenzo Lynch. Looked like he had a hamstring injury.
Pitch back from Aikman to Emmitt Smith, not much doing.
Right there in the sideline, we were looking at half of the Cardinals secondary, one on crutches, the other one laying on the bench. Here's Aeneas Williams, here's Lorenzo Lynch right back there.
Like a hamstring for him. Lynch.
And it's a knee for Aeneas Williams. Eric Swan, of course, already out. He had knee surgery. Eric Hill also out, but they expect him back next week.
2nd and 8. 27-13 Dallas. Aikman a throw. Kevin Williams will get the first down.
And again, good pass protection there, because Aikman was able to double hitch. Watch Nate here. And again, what you do is you have to zone block, and you have to be able, anyone comes in your area. You see, boom, you hit that guy there, you give him back to Donaldson, boom, then you hit the guy with your left shoulder, and you give him back to Tuinei. That's what a good guard does. A good uncovered man always has his head on a swivel and will help inside and outside on the same play.
1st and 10 Cowboys. Aikman back to throw. If he has time, going deep for Irvin. He's open. Just couldn't light the burner a little too far. Let's go back for another McDonald's game break to James Brown in Hollywood.
All right, Pat. Oakland scored 27 unanswered points. 6 more here as Jeff Hosteller finds Derek Finner in the corner of the end zone. My goodness, Oakland is up 27-17 in the 3rd. Take you back to Pat and John.
Back at Texas Stadium, 4th quarter, Dallas 27, Arizona 13.
What did JB say? My goodness, Oakland is up?
Second down, 10.
My goodness.
That shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, the Raiders are back. They're playing in Oakland. They were down. They'll come back. Always have.
Emmett Smith.
Give to Emmett Smith to the 45-yard line.
Just about 3.
The thing about Emmett Smith too is you know they can keep working him, and he enjoys it. I mean, he's in such good shape that you can just work him and work him and work him, and he's one of those guys that I think the more he carries the ball, the better he gets. And I'm not saying that with it being ahead 27-13 and have the ball that they have to beat him in this game, but when it gets to a game when they really need him, he's always there for 4 quarters.
3rd and 7. Blitz coming. Aikman to Kevin Williams. Didn't get enough for the 1st. Tito Paul made the stop.
And Troy Aikman's upset because he knows that he had to get enough for the 1st down. He wants to go for it. He wanted to stay out there and go for it on 4th down.
But here comes John Jett.
So it doesn't make any difference what Troy Aikman wants, does it?
He's overruled. How about the St. Louis Rams? They're 4-0.
If anyone would have said, you know, before this season, give me 3 teams that are going to be undefeated after 4 weeks, I don't think in any count you would have put the St. Louis Rams.
Have a tough time just saying it. Jets kick takes a backward bounce, and it's down at about the 14.
Ball is killed by Reggie Barnes.
Reggie Barnes down. So 11:52 left to play. Cowboys leading 27-13. Pat Summerall with John Madden back at Texas Stadium, 27-13 Dallas.
Dave Atkins is the offensive coordinator of the Cardinals, and he calls the plays into the headset of Dave Craig, and then he must give him a couple options because then Dave Craig also has the plays on his wristband.
1st and 10 at their own 15. Craig to throw it. To the outside to Hurst. Jim Swans to bring him down.
Now there you see Dave Atkins. He'll call the play, and then he's given him. What he may be doing is just calling a number, like giving him like number 12.
And he has the formation.
Right, and then he looks on the wristband and gets the rest of it, so there doesn't have to be a lot of dialogue.
To make sure he's got the right people in the game to run that formation. 3 wide receivers. Craig to throw. Forced out of the pocket and chased, and down he goes. Tony Tolbert.
See what happened? He's been getting so much pressure from his left that he started to come to his right all the time. See, he starts coming out here, so here comes Tolbert to get him. Again, because of the pressure here that he's been getting, that's making him float out to his right all the time. You see, they got the game here, and then you see he looks, and then he starts to float out to the right or escape there, and there's Tony Tolbert knowing that he's going to get pushed, and he's going to try and come that way, so Tolbert just gets up the field a little more.
Cowboys go with a 3-man rush this time. 3rd and 22. Lett and Hennings right in the middle. Craig out of the end zone. Center pass was caught in the end zone.
I think Leon Lett and Duval Love are going after it there. One thing about this pass, at least it got him out past the 5-yard line. In fact, Dave Craig didn't look like he was ready for that, but watch Leon Lett. He gets the push on Duval Love. Love keeps blocking him there at the end. They're still playing.
Locked horns.
Because Lett has that thing up there and the fist up there and the face mask.
Figo. Kevin Williams, midfield. Tripped up at about the 36-yard line of Arizona. And Hennings. Neck problems and a little massage. 27-13. Dallas leads Arizona.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Red Dog Beer. Bold, gets smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. By Denerex with conditioners, the serious dandruff shampoo. By the body heat activated Degree antiperspirant and deodorant. And by Dockers flat front khakis, proud makers of nice pants.
Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Studio is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Troy Aikman is the executive producer of the Dallas offense. And the producer is Emmett Smith.
And that whole combination of being able to run Emmett inside, you know, and hold all the defense to the inside, and then have a guy like Michael Irvin out on the outside is darn near enough to beat most of the teams in the league. I mean, just Troy Aikman handing to Emmett Smith and throwing to Michael Irvin will darn near beat most of the teams in this league.
And you throw in a dose of Novacek, Namus, Kevin Williams. Aikman incomplete. Flag on the play. Intended for Williams. Lassiter is going to be called for the violation.
Well, somewhere Kevin Williams is going to take Alvin Harper's place and take Alvin Harper's numbers. Alvin Harper only caught, what, 32 passes last year, so.
Pass interference, number 42, defense, first down.
So the thing that, you know, that position has to do that Kevin Williams is playing is not catch a lot of passes, but catch a lot of big passes. That's what Alvin Harper gave him.
Well, you remember when Jason Garrett was the quarterback, his wife told him, just throw it as far as you can, as high as you can, and Alvin will catch it.
That was on Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
Yeah. Aikman, Novacek, dropped it. Had it and lost it.
There's two coaches consoling each other. Barry Switzer said he was wide open. He is wide open. The pass is a perfect pass. He looked it right into his hand, and I think Hogue knocked it out just as he was bringing it down. See, he brought it down, and just as he started to bring it into himself, Terry Hogue knocked it out of there. But Aikman's thinking, what in the heck do I have to do to throw a touchdown pass there?
Blitz coming. Reverse coming. And going nowhere. Kevin Williams with the reverse. The Cardinals played it perfectly.
I tell you, he's going to run right into McCants there. And he's thinking Keith McCants is number 90. He's playing right here. He doesn't go for the fake, and he just runs, boom, just helmet to helmet.
He saw it coming.
That's the thing. Yeah, McCants did.
Yeah.
Kevin Williams, I think, saw McCants coming, too, but it was too late. But if on a reverse, if the guys don't flow, if they don't run the other, when you start the other way, some bad things can happen to it.
3 wide receiver package. Here comes a Cardinal blitz again. Michael Irvin. Incomplete.
Yeah, that thing wasn't timed up. The blitz was coming, and either Michael Irvin was taking too long to run his pattern, or Troy Aikman threw it too soon. And that's why, you know, you like to, that's a sight adjust. You like your wide receiver to know that a blitz is coming, so your quarterback will have less time, so he has to run his pattern a little shorter and look a little quicker.
I would have to guess that Michael Irvin didn't know that the blitz was coming.
He has to look to the inside.
Right.
He will know next time. He knew
Jet.
last time.
Jet. High hanging kick. Bounds into the end zone. And they'll bring it to the 20. 27-13. Dallas leading with 8:03 left to play. Cowboys trying to go 4-0. Cowboys 27, Cardinals 13. Cardinal ball at their own 20. Craig. I'm not sure if it was caught or not. Rob Moore. Yes, it was. He was sliding, I'm not sure.
Well, that's one of those patterns that you throw right in between the short defender and the long defender. And he had to throw it in that hole. He did throw it in that hole. I don't know if the ball hit the ground or not, but he was just throwing it not to Rob Moore, but just in the hole between the two defensive backs, the short and the deep defensive back.
Craig back. Goes again to Moore. Well, they said they had to get the ball to him more often. And it's working.
And they're doing it, and Dave Craig is proving that if he can get time, and he gets time here because they're blocking. Watch the block that they do on Charles Haley here. Here's Ernest Dye.
Whoa.
You see, he starts him, and there's Larry Centers come and pick him off.
And that's what he was talking about yesterday.
That's what he said. That's what Charles Haley said yesterday. He said Larry Centers is the best at that as anyone in football.
He just proved it. Craig, incomplete. Intended for Frank Sanders.
You know, when Dave Craig has time, he can get the job done. But you look at the pressure that he's been under. He's been sacked 3 times, hurried 3 times, knocked down 5 times, had 1 pass batted, 1 interception, and he was forced to scramble 7 times. So he hasn't been able really to get in the pocket, sit there and look it over and throw the ball.
No.
They've been after him pretty good all day.
Craig with time. Incomplete. Intended for Wendell Gaines. Led him just a little too much. Flag on the play.
Yep, and there was Leon Lett hanging on Dave Craig just as he threw that ball again. I'll tell you, if Leon Lett doesn't watch out, he's going to be the player of this game.
I think he has a very good chance.
Because he's knocking the quarterback down. He's batting balls down. Every time he rushes, they hold him and grab him, tackle him.
Holding, number 71, offense.
Holding against Larry Tharp.
Watch Lett. He's number 78. He's coming there. He breaks through a double team, and he's right on Dave Craig just as he throws that ball.
Yep.
Boy, you talk about Charles Haley causing havoc. Oh, Big Cat's causing him some havoc today.
He's Charles Haley's pupil in many ways.
Yeah,
taught him a lot of those techniques.
He's breaking off a piece of this action.
Screen to center. Center still on his feet, scrambling. Down inside the 45, a little extracurricular activity. Center's still on his feet. Don't see any flags. A conference going on among the officials. Maybe, yeah. One of the officials just picked up his flag.
Right, and it's against the Cowboys.
Johnny Greer, the leader of this officiating crew.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Dallas bench. First down.
On the Dallas bench. What
Remember, Barry Switzer had a one against the 49ers. I don't know that that one was against Barry Switzer. It doesn't look like. I mean, he looks pretty calm over there. Well, he's not calm now. They just told him it was against the bench.
Calmness went away. That's a first down. Cardinals on the move. Craig gives to Centers. Centers wrapped up by Woodson at about the 25. Maybe he got 3.
Yeah, that Larry Centers is something. I mean, we saw Charles Haley was causing havoc in there, and Larry Centers took care of that. And then you want someone to throw the ball to, and he made a heck of a catch for the touchdown.
Yep.
And then he runs, and it takes like 5 or 6 guys to get him down.
He's one of those guys that you say, well, he's not as good a runner. We got a better runner. We got a better pass receiver. We've got a better blocker. But he does it all very well.
Yeah, and then, you know, he's from Stephen F. Austin, so you wonder where'd that guy come from. But sometimes guys are just football players.
And he's one. He's one. Craig to throw. Underarm. Flag down by Moore. Not enough for a first down if he made the catch.
That was something you'd see on Saturday in a playground, an underarm pass and a one-handed catch.
Yeah. An upscale playground.
Yeah, but this is pretty good, though. I mean, he's fighting, moving, underhand, a one-handed catch, bring it in, run it right into the bread basket.
Third down.
A piece of that.
3rd and 2. Craig has Centers as the only back. Gets it out to Moore. Moore got enough for the first down. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited.
Yeah, the Cardinals, of course, they're thinking in terms of 2 touchdowns. So they got to get a score and then probably get an onside kick and then go for another score. They do have all their timeouts.
27-13 clock running. Just over 4 minutes. Craig back to throw it. Flag on the play. Touchdown to Moore.
I think the whistle blew before the play. So that has to be probably against the offense.
False start. Prior to the snap. 87 offense.
No touchdown.
And that's Oscar McBride. Right, because the whistle blew before that ball was ever thrown.
Buddy Ryan's team has done a heck of a job of hanging in there. All their defenders, their good big-name defenders, are hurt. The backups have done an excellent job. And the offense has just scrapped its way around. 2nd and 15.
And Dave Craig has been pretty effective when given time.
Here's Craig, who hasn't had a lot of time. Flag on the play. Moore makes the catch at about the 12, but a penalty marker down.
And that's one that would give them an automatic first down if it's against the Cowboys. Because they were 1st and 15. Now they'll get another first down, but they'll get a 1st and 10.
Keep in mind, they'll have a first down, as John said. They have all of their timeouts left. 3 minutes and 54 seconds left.
Yeah, and I think they want to take that penalty again, and because they would be like 2nd and 8 or 1st and 10, so they better take the penalty and go 1st and 10. Yes.
Take 1st and 10, buddy.
But he's not answering.
Dave Craig smiled at him.
Number 55, defense. The 5-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty against Robert Jones.
And then Dave Craig said, take 1st and 10, Buddy, and Buddy must have said, yes, take 1st and 10, which is the right play. Again, they really do have plenty of time.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you know, and they're thinking in terms of 2 scores. It would be interesting if they would get a touchdown here. They already had one, but it was called back because of a penalty. But would they go for 2 points or go for 1 and then the tie?
Here's Craig back to throw. Has time, has more. Flag on the play, flag in the end zone. There were two defenders back with Rob Moore, and he's down in the end zone. Against Dallas.
And that's the good news, is that the penalty is against Dallas for the Cardinals. The bad news for the Cardinals is their go-to guy, Rob Moore, is down.
Well, they said we got to go to him.
Illegal contact. Number 47, defense.
Leighton
First
Holmes.
down.
Moore has been, as John said, their go-to guy. Let's see if we can pick up the penalty.
It looks like as Rob Moore comes down, and he just goes down on that shoulder.
Yeah. I didn't see any interference.
It could have been one of those things that happens. See, it's on Clayton Holmes, number 47, and I think it was illegal hand before.
Must have been.
I think here's Rob Moore right here, and that's a penalty right there. See, after 5 yards, you can't hit him. So they called that penalty at that point, and then there was no pass interference there in the end zone.
The good news is that Rob Moore's up and walking off, running off now.
Yeah, when you looked at the pictures there, it looked like as he fell, he just got the wind knocked out of him. I would bet now that gives the Cardinals another first down, and I would bet that Rob Moore is going to be back in there on second down.
Yeah, I would think so. He and Sanders both out of the game. Craig rejoins the huddle now. First and 10 for the Cardinals at the Cowboy 13. 27-13, Dallas leads. Cardinals have all of their timeouts left, and they're on the move. Craig better hurry. Trying to change the play. Haley jumped. Haley jumped.
Haley's pointing to Ernest Dye. Ernest Dye is pointing to Haley.
Moore comes back into the game.
We're going to have a conference there on whether the left tackle Ernest Dye moved first to draw Haley, or Haley moved first and drew Ernest Dye.
Guard, number 65, offense, prior to the snap. Still first down.
Was Ernest Dye.
Here's number 65 right here, Ernest Dye. We'll see if he moves before. Yep. You see, he just started that little thing. See how the weight starts to go back?
Yep.
He just rocked back. And that's all it is. You know, sometimes those guys start in that pass protection, and they're so big that they just start to rock a little. And if the defensive guy is smart and he makes a move, when the guy makes his rock, they're going to call it on the offensive guy.
First and 15. At about the 18. Craig deep for Moore. Pass is picked off in the end zone by Larry Brown. Intercepted by Brown in the end zone.
Dave Craig was trying to throw that one away. It was first down. There's no reason to force anything in the end zone on first down. And he knows that, a 16-year veteran. He's trying to throw it away. He just doesn't throw it far enough.
So the Cowboys will take over out of the 20 as Brown comes up with a big interception.
Watch this interception here. Larry Brown is number 24. He's covering Rob Moore. He has great coverage. He didn't go for the post move. He just played the corner. Dave Craig was trying to throw that ball away, and he just didn't get enough of it. Now Larry Brown knocked the pylon down, and no one picked the pylon up.
Pylon down. Emmett Smith, left side. For about 3 or 4. Don't forget, coming up after our football coverage, space above and beyond, except on the West Coast. Emmett grabbed his left wrist. And there is a timeout call. Cowboys leading at 27-13. Emmett Smith grabbed his left wrist after that last carry.
Yeah, you can see, Pat, as he goes to the ground, he just falls right on that left arm and wrist. And whether it's the wrist or the arm or the shoulder, you can see it just, everything goes right down on that left side.
With Terry Hogue on top of it.
You know, the question's going to be asked after he's done what he's done today, and the Cowboys have the lead with 3 minutes left to go in the game. He probably doesn't have to be in there, but that would be a form of a second guess.
Then he grabbed his elbow.
Well, you could see it could be anything on that left side. It could be from the hand to the wrist to the elbow, and sometimes you grab the elbow when it's a shoulder injury. Whatever it is, they're hiding it up on that sideline.
Sherman Williams spins ahead. Michael Bankston made the stop.
You know how important Emmitt Smith is to this team, and in fact, he's probably the most important guy. And when he gets hurt, he draws a crowd.
His left arm, we don't know what. The left elbow is what we're hearing now.
Well, you could see all his weight and everything went down on that left arm. Again, going back to that penalty against the bench, that was on Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer is
came out on the field.
Yeah, came out on the field. So 2 years in the NFL, he has 2 penalties.
There goes Emmitt.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's one. It's an easy one to second guess, and I hate to do it. But you know, and a football player is a football player, and there's a game to be played, and he's playing. Just hate to see anyone get hurt in this type of situation when, really, for all intent and purposes, the game is over.
And he's in pain.
And he's a warrior, and he's a workhorse. I mean, he does it all. And when you say what is a running back or what is a football player, you say number 22 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, this is why they took number 20. Sherman Williams broke a tackle and broke close to a first down, and here comes a flag flying in. Patrick Hunter made the stop. Emmitt Smith headed in for x-rays.
Now they got the security there. Did you see those guys? They got everything blocked off.
Yeah.
They aren't going to let anyone go in there and figure that deal out. When he takes his helmet off like that and goes like that, he's in a heck of a lot of pain.
Yeah, he is. Well, things like this, you hope they don't happen. But that's the reason they picked Sherman Williams in the last draft, to back up Emmitt Smith.
And to give Emmitt Smith a breather.
Yeah.
And you know, because Emmitt Smith is such a workhorse, like we said, he's the only guy that carries the ball.
Williams, Cardinals swarm around him. Less than 3 minutes left now. Seth Joyner and Garth Jacks made the stop.
And you know how popular and what a great player Emmitt Smith is, because that not only took all the air out of the Dallas Cowboy sidelines, but of this crowd too.
Yeah.
I mean, this crowd, you would think that, you know, the Cowboys are undefeated, they're winning, everything's going their way, but this is a very, very quiet place now.
Emmitt was saying yesterday he set some goals, some personal goals, but he didn't discuss them publicly.
You know, I mean, it's something how knowledgeable fans are, you know, that they know that, you know, he's heard how important he is, and this is a win, and 4-0, and the Cowboys arguably the best team in football right now. You know, they can't take a loss of Emmitt Smith.
Right.
You just kind of look at the faces in this crowd, and they kind of tell the story. They know it.
It's going to be a victory. That's pretty obvious. Arizona's used all their timeouts. Well, they have one left. I beg your pardon. 2nd and 11. That's the move. Darrell Johnston into Cardinal territory, and there's their last timeout.
because the Cardinals are thinking still, you know, to be in this game, they got to get the ball back. They need 2 scores, and as a Buddy Ryan, you just keep playing, you know, and you never know. I mean, there could be, boom, you can get a turnover, you can run one in, and in any situation, you get to a point that if you keep playing, sometimes, you know, good things happen to you.
3rd down and 7. 2:49 left. This is the last Cardinal timeout left.
Neas Williams there with the knee injury. Injured that in the first half in the end zone on Emmitt Smith's run.
The twin defensive ends.
Yeah, both of them got there at the same time on Dave Craig a couple times today. They see themselves on the screen. Now, I don't know if that was Charles Haley or his son CJ. I think the guy that stuck his tongue out was CJ.
Well, Father Haley is smiling. 3rd and 7. Sherman Williams deep. Aikman gives to him, and flag on the play. Sherman Williams close to a 1st down. Again, a reminder coming up following football coverage, space above and beyond, except on the West Coast. Johnny Greer let us know.
Offside is the signal against the Cardinals.
Aikman took the Cowboys almost the length of the field.
Offside, defense, left defensive tackle, line up in the neutral zone. Still 3rd down.
Still 3rd down. Much shorter. Again, those of you who might have just joined us, there's Emmitt Smith, who fell on his left arm. And as best we can find out, it's an injury of some sort. We don't know how serious to his left elbow. He's in for x-ray. Sherman Williams has taken his place. 1st down and more. Sherman Williams. Touchdown, Cowboys. That's one he won't forget. From 44 yards away.
And everyone's thinking we just wish we would have put him in about 2 plays earlier.
Yep.
Because he can do that. You give him a hole, Sherman Williams could run. And again, that Cardinal defense still gambling, trying to get the ball back. Again, once you get all these guys out in front, if you break through that front, and they got 8 guys, you get to this point right now, again, another missed tackle, poor tackling all day by the Cardinals, then there's only one guy back there that has a chance to prevent a big play.
Bonio for the extra point. 34-13, Cowboys lead. 2:37 remains. Cardinals of Buddy Ryan out of timeouts.
And I know what Buddy's shaking his head about. He's upset with that tackling. Their tackling has been terrible today. I saw a shot down there at Jerry Jones on the sideline. He's been in the news lately, huh?
Has he ever?
Yeah, the league fined him.
Larry Lacewell.
What was it, $300 million?
$300 million.
Yeah, and he signed Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is going to be operated on, I guess, next week in Miami on that ankle. None of the Cowboys seem to be worried about that.
Yep. Michael Irvin is.
He'll grab whoever scores.
The lead hugger.
Look at all that leftover ice. That's a pretty good game. I mean, that's been an easy game for you when you have that much ice left over.
Leftover ice. Wonder what they do with that.
Well, eventually it's going to become water.
Yeah.
It'll be poured
somewhere.
down the drain.
Somewhere.
No, but you know, that's if you had to say what's the one thing that is used more for, you know, for injury, rehabilitation, and so on, it's ice. That's the #1 thing.
Well, we were up in Green Bay last week, and the Green Bay players get in a tub of ice to revitalize their tired muscles. Ryan Terry hit first by Bates.
Ryan Terry fielded the ball at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, we were talking earlier in the game about Buddy Ryan and defense and what you had to stop, and here's really the problem. You know, what part of it do you? Here's Emmitt Smith. He gains 169 yards. You don't expect Kevin Williams to do much. He'd only caught 2 passes. He gets 145. Michael Irvin, 105. And then Sherman Williams comes in, 74. Jay Novacek. You know, where do you go? If you gang up on one thing, they're going to kill you someplace else. And that's exactly what they did today.
1st and 10 Cardinals at their own 20. 3 wide receivers. Craig has gone the whole way at quarterback for Arizona. Motions for the receiver to come to me, and in motion. Has time, gets it out to Larry Centers. And Centers still on his feet. Larry Centers hops out of bounds. Now,
there is a football player. Yeah. Larry Centers started that whole play by knocking the defensive end down.
Yep.
He started by making a block, then he makes a catch, then he runs over a couple of guys. Before he caught that ball, he knocked down the defensive end.
Just flat ran over Alundis Bryce. Chased by Woodson.
That was something.
Finally saw he'd run out of yardage and ran out of bounds and stopped the clock. 2:16 left.
That is a football play, though. If I had to look and say, okay, I want to see a football player make a football play, that was it.
Flag on the play. Pass is intercepted by Brock Marion.
Just watch here. Watch right here, and you'll see Larry Centers on that play I'm talking about. There is the block. There is the catch, and there is a run. Now, that's football.
Yeah. I got to have him on the field more often.
That was a decleater.
Illegal formation, number 71, offense. He lined up in the backfield. The penalty is declined. 1st down, Dallas.
Larry Tharp lined up in the backfield. Coming up next, following our football coverage, don't forget Space and Beyond, except on the West Coast. 34-13, Dallas leading Arizona.
That block of Larry Centers, though, ought to make some highlight film.
That's the second one like that. He hit Haley one time.
He got Charles Haley earlier. But he just knows how to do it and how to time it and how to find it and how to get you. And then after that, catching the pass and then making that run. I think I would look at that Cardinal team and I would say, well, there's one player I'd take. There's one I'd take from the Cowboys, Eric Williams.
Yep. Got a bad calf muscle. 1st and 10 Cowboys. They'll just run it out. Cardinals out of timeout. They'll run it down to the 2-minute warning. Wade Wilson is the quarterback, replacing number 8, Troy Aikman. 34-13 Dallas. They'll be 4-0. 34-13. The good news, Emmitt Smith, the x-rays have been taken. He has just a bruised elbow. The x-rays were negative. Not serious. It hurts. It's sore, I'm sure, but nothing out of place, nothing dislocated. They'll look at it again tomorrow, but the x-rays so far were negative. Big Cat had a heck of a day, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. He broke some off for himself today.
Sherman Williams, the ball carrier. Back in training camp, the Cowboys were saying that Sherman Williams reminded them a little bit of a combination of Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders. I said, come on. What kind of combination is that? That's too good.
And I'm sure somewhere they'd throw in a Tony Dorsett, too. But, yeah, I think you wait a few years before you go to those things. We had to look at that sweat again on these offensive linemen.
Donaldson's not bad.
Yeah, Ray Donaldson may have the longer sweat line than any of the other guys.
He's certainly going to be in the finals. Williams lost the ball. And the Cardinals have it.
Yeah, that's why you just start comparing them with all those running backs, and then this happens, because those running backs don't do this kind of thing. And Sherman Williams knows it. You know, when you get in there, and that was his own guy. It ran into Larry Allen, but it doesn't make a difference. When you're inside like that, you have to hold both hands. You know, you can put it in one arm as you get out. When you get in there and there's big old bodies flying around there, you have to protect it.
Don't forget, following football coverage, Space and Beyond, except on the West Coast. Craig to throw it. Screen pass, Larry Centers. Centers to the 24. There's a north-south guy.
I'll tell you, that block that he made and that catch on that last drive, that was one of the best plays I've seen in a long time by one guy on one play.
Running over the defenders. Craig. Touchdown. Rob Moore. A strike. Clayton Holmes, the defender.
I think that's one thing that the Cardinals learned about themselves, and maybe teams learned about this Cowboy defense, that if you can get time, you can work deep on these guys. You can work deep on Clayton Holmes. You know, and again, Clayton Holmes is in there, and then, you know, Deion Sanders eventually will be in that position. But, you know, until he gets back, that if you can get time, you can do something. And again, you see Craig gets time.
Well, Clayton Holmes is there, of course, because of the Achilles tendon injury to Kevin Smith. Davis, extra points good.
The kick is good with 46 seconds remaining on a score down of 34. The Cardinals 20.
Only vehicles with proper parking credentials.
I like these three down here, Pat.
Yeah.
No open flames, no coolers in the stadium, and no trespassing or soliciting. So if you can't have it, then everything has to be right. Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't leave an open flame, how are you going to have any barbecue?
A croissant at a football game?
No, it's all dry stuff. No, it's all dry stuff. I mean, if you can't have an open flame, how are you going to have a barbecue?
Well, that's what he thinks of it.
If you can't have a barbecue, how are you going to have a tailgate? There's a conversation.
I guarantee you that's about Emmitt Smith. Stockyards of Fort Worth. Now they'll do some outside cooking there.
There, now we're cooking. Now we're talking here. We couldn't find any here, so we went and got it.
Barbecue.
Now there's a barbecue. I mean, there's a machine. Look at that. Now you're talking.
I wonder how far down that guy's sweating.
Look at that. That's the real tailgate food there.
Not a real horse, however. There's a horse.
Yeah, the last time we saw him, he was sticking his tongue out.
Yeah.
If you knew what Charles Haley was going to do, he wouldn't be Charles Haley.
If you knew what he was thinking, he wouldn't be Charles Haley.
Did you see Troy Aikman there? Charles Haley said yesterday, look at that, look at Aikman. He said, how can you make $50 million and have a sour look? You see that?
It's a good point.
Had a sour look.
It's a good point.
Here comes an onside-er.
Novacek had it in his sights, and he got creamed.
That's what you get for being on that hands team.
Yep.
You know, you have an onside kick team and an onside prevent team.
What did James Brown say about Oakland?
But my goodness.
My goodness.
But look at that. I mean, that should be when you make $50 million and you're young and good-looking and talented and all those things, you ought to be happy. You're winning. You're 4-0. You've won 2 Super Bowls. You got all the money. You're building a house.
Well,
you ought to smile or something.
I think it's the building the house part that's got him not smiling.
That's what Charles Haley said. He said, how can you have that much money and not be giggling all the time?
I agree. It's a good point. I'll never know. Nate said they got that big room and where you walk in the house. What are we doing there, he said.
Foyer.
The foyer, yeah.
His wife wants to build a foyer. He said, what do we need a foyer for? What's a foyer?
Nothing goes on in there.
Well, he said they come in and they take their jackets off and they shake the rain off.
Yeah. Take their shoes off, put them in the garage, he said.
The old Nate, he doesn't mind building a house. He doesn't want to furnish it and have designers and all that stuff. He played a heck of a game.
Yeah,
I mean, that whole offensive line really controlled this Cardinal defense, and they were the guys that pass blocked for Troy Aikman, and they were the guys that ran block for Emmitt Smith.
The world, according to Nate, is a very interesting place. And there'll be some laughter there, I'll guarantee you.
I guarantee you they all want to find out how Emmitt is.
Well, I'm sure the news has gotten back. We still got to check out who won that sweating contest. 34-20, Dallas won the game.